today. First, fast, and credible.
You're welcome back from the break. This is still Star Today here on Star FM. Up next on the broadcast is the campaign trail. This is your Simply the Best station, Star 103.5 FM, and EIB remains your 2024 election hub. Let's take you now on the campaign trail. It is some 9 minutes to the top of the hour, 6 p.m. And tonight on the campaign trail, my guest is popularly known as SM, everywhere he finds himself. Born and bred in Tamale, among 10 siblings, he had his humble beginnings in the Northern Regional Capital, where he started and completed his primary education. Well, from there, he continued to Tamale SHS, the University of Development Studies, and then to the University of Salford, Manchester, United Kingdom. Beyond politics, he is a project management and development specialist by profession. I bet you didn't know this. In politics, he is the commander and leader of the youth wing of the governing New Patriotic Party. Our conversation tonight will definitely focus on the party's youth-centered policies as we inch closer to the December polls. He describes the NPP flag bearer, Dr. Mahmoud Baumia, as a warm person whose level of humility he is yet to see in any humankind again. As such, this young man says his focus is to get more young people to join the New Patriotic Party and vote for the party in the elections because it is a free-spirited, pro-youth party. And to help us dissect these issues is Salam Mustapha, who has given a strong indication that the NPP is in the 2024 general election to win. And he's already in the studios. Remember that we are live on Facebook on Star 103.5 FM. And on WhatsApp is via the number 055 288 0216. Again, it is 055 288 0216. This is your campaign trail. Salam, you're welcome to the studio. What did you say?
But I said the kind of research you have done on me is not small. It's like FBI profiling.
And I also know that you are troublesome. We just didn't add that.
Oh, you didn't add that one.
No.
But unfortunately, I am not.
You have changed.
No, I am not.
Okay, we accept that. But thank you very much for coming.
Yes,
we are happy.
and in your research, let me add, you mentioned that I am a sibling of 10. You see, you left one.
So
but
11.
we are 11. We're a full football team.
Oh my God.
Let me give you the breakdown.
Tell me.
3 boys, 8 girls.
Oh.
Yeah, so I am born in the midst of women.
I see. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Salam, let's
Yeah.
start on this note. The U.S. have won the elections. I mean, Donald Trump has won the elections in the U.S., or at least we can say he's the president-elect of the just ended U.S. elections. And we have seen that you people are trying to take advantage of that by saying that the elephant is the winning symbol. Where did that come from?
Well, thank you, and good evening to your viewers and listeners. I think this is my first time on this program, and
we are pleased.
Yes, I come here with delight.
Right.
Yeah, I come here with delight. Indeed, the Republican Party and the New Patriotic Party share a lot in common.
Okay.
Not just the elephant. If you understand our tradition, we are a center-right party, and we term it as conservatism.
Okay.
So we are conservatives, just like the Republicans. And to even make it more interesting, we have an association of all center-right parties we call the IDU, and both parties are part of IDU. So recently, I held a forum of young leaders across the world who are center-right, parties.
Okay.
The youth wing of center-right parties.
Globally?
Yes, globally.
Okay.
Yeah, I hosted that conference here in Ghana.
Okay.
And the Republican Party was
present.
duly, represented.
But in 2020, when Trump lost, we didn't see that the elephant was the winning symbol. What happened?
Maybe I wouldn't know the extent to which, people follow these things. I do quite a lot.
Okay.
In fact, I have been supporting the Republican Party since 2000 elections, the one George Bush won. And ever since, I have supported every single Republican candidate from 2000 till this very election that Trump won. I kept telling people that, yeah, the guy is coming back.
You believed in Trump?
Not believe in Trump as such, but I'm affiliated to the Republican Party.
Okay.
I believe in the ideals of
the conservatives.
Conservatives.
Right.
Yes, and it makes me stand in support with them. I am one person. I don't flip flop.
Okay.
I want to be a consistent character, so I will not flip flop. Whether win or lose, I still stand with them. And in 2020, when Trump lost, why not? It's one of those things. You win some, you lose some.
Okay.
And now that he's won again,
you're happy.
Yes.
I see. Now, talking about consistency, earlier this year, you accused the NPP of stealing your youth-centered policies. But a few days ago, in fact, just yesterday, Mahama accused your party of stealing his poetry ideas, which was meant for the youth. Because I remember that a lot of your communicators on social media were mocking Mahama, saying that so what policy is that? But we have seen something similar from you. Did you steal the NDC's policy? Tell me about that.
Not at all. On Sunday, I anchored a youth-centered program for the presidential candidate to deliver a vision on job creation. I, as a youth leader, I have traveled very far and wide across the country. And one topical issue that cuts across is jobs.
Okay.
Employment, unemployment issues, and so on and so forth. The flag bearer has, had same experience, and the issue of job creation is quite dear to him. So if you followed the conversation, we talk about agriculture, as one of the ways to create jobs for young people. So when you talk about agriculture, poultry is part.
Certainly.
And yes. I personally have a very huge rice farm, over 100 acres rice farm. So
in Tamale?
Yes, in the northern region.
Okay.
It's not in Tamale, but it's
somewhere in the northern region.
Somewhere in the northern region. So when you talk about farming, it's something that I understand. So every facet of agriculture, the flag bearer did make a presentation on it. So it is not the same idea as John Mohammed's Nkukon Inketing
tell me about the difference.
Yes, when you listen to John Mohammed's vision, he says that nkukon kitten and our pa na ma nkukon bo ketu bi na nkukon kitten no now they are shame so motun kosia na waton.
But that is part of agricultural farming, Salam.
I understand. The issue of unemployment goes beyond patronage. You cannot patronize people.
You think that is what Mahama was doing?
Yes, because
he was patronizing Ghanaians.
Yes, it was patronizing young people.
Okay.
Look, I see desperate young people, healthy, able-bodied young men and women all the time, wanting survival, looking for jobs. And the least thing we in the political, space should do is to patronize the matter, because it's a serious existential matter.
Okay.
That is why I place a lot of premium on it, So it is not, telling people that, you get a small hen coop, we'll give you some small number of, chicken for you to go and rear. When they lay eggs, you sell, and that when you finish selling the eggs, you sell the chicken themselves, and now you're back to square one. No.
Okay.
But I have friends who have gone into poultry farming. Yes, and poultry farming is quite lucrative. So in wanting to do commercial poultry farming, you have to get a lot of resources and support. It is not, nkukon kitten at all.
Okay.
And that is the difference between us and him. That we are talking a mechanized, poultry farming, system.
Okay, I would want you to elaborate on that, but in one word, how would you describe that policy by Mahama, the so-called Nkukon Kitten policy that you people have described?
It's ludicrous.
It's ludicrous.
Absolutely ludicrous. It cannot solve the issue of unemployment.
Okay, tell me about yours.
You see, dealing with unemployment is not subsistence. Okay? Yes, it is practical, sustainable, decent, well-paying jobs. That is why today, I mentioned on Saturday, if you put a plane right now and ask how many, young people are ready to fly to the United States of America, almost everybody will run onto the plane. Why? Because they think that there are better opportunities there. We can create same opportunities here if the vision and the drive is there. And that's why I want to see leaders who have vision and think outside the box.
Would you say the MPP for the past 8 years hasn't had this vision that you're talking about?
We have had, and that is why.
So why is it that when you bring a plane today, you believe that a lot of the people would want to jump on it and go elsewhere?
Yes, I make inference to sow. In fact, the crave for traveling abroad has been in this country for a very long time.
What they call the Japa.
Yes, has been a very, very long-standing issue that Ghanaians like to bugger, go and work abroad. Sometimes it is because some of the opportunities here are limited. That one, there is not any contest to it.
Okay.
That we are not able to create as much jobs as compared to the graduates the system churns out. And I say this all the time. Tutua, when our fathers went to school, in the pre-independence era, they were paid for just going to school. Okay? They were paid for just going to school. And by the time they finished school, their desk was already waiting for them to come and get work. So it was difficult for someone to finish school and not
be
work.
Unemployed, right?
Okay? Now we have maintained the same system from the pre-independence era, post-independence era, and now into a Republican system, which is absolutely not sustainable. In this country, government is the largest employer rather than the private sector. Whereas if you go to the West, it is the opposite. The private sector rather is the largest employer, and government, employment is quite, a handful. So it pushes a lot of, burden, pressure on government to create jobs, because almost everybody now wants to work into the government sector. And I give this analogy all the time. Tutua, if you take me home right now and introduce me to your parents, that, oh, this is the young man, who wants to, marry me and be with me. The first question to ask
my co-host is not happy.
The first question to ask, what work do I do?
That's it, right?
I'm lying?
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. If you say, oh, I'm a bank manager, what the idea be? But if you say I'm a fitter, hey, I don't know what the fee. Oh, I'm lying. Let's be realistic. Let's be practical. So the issue of unemployment, its intricacies, has a lot of dynamics that we have to take our time and deal with. It goes beyond patronage, and that's why I'm passionate about it.
I understand, but what I also want to understand is if the New Patriotic Party has failed the masses, because a lot of the youth are disappointed. They believe so much in your policies. You have failed to some extent.
No, I'm not saying we have failed to some extent.
Okay.
To some extent, I can understand why the youth will still clamor for jobs. Look, data available
they need to
to us.
survive.
Data available to us. This government has been the biggest, job creator as far as governments are concerned.
Okay.
We have done in excess of 2 million. Some figures put it at 2.6 last week when we were preparing for our job engagement. From controller and accountant general to SNET, the figures we're able to put together was around 2.6 million.
Okay.
But you see, this is a drop in the ocean. This is a drop in the ocean. Why? Ghana has a population of some 32 million
32
people.
million.
Okay? And out of these 32 million, about 17 million are qualified for the job market. So, and from the data available to me, just about 7 to 8 million Ghanaians have employment. So you see, there's still a large chunk without employment. And guess what? We are churning out graduates
Every year.
every year. From about 100,000, now almost getting to 400,000. Because private universities, state universities are now churning out graduates every year. So the numbers keep growing. But we are not able to create jobs at the same level.
To meet the requirements.
Yes. And it is because, you see, when you take maybe a government institution like maybe GRA cannot employ every year. They cannot. So GRA can only employ maybe after 2-3 years, maybe when some people have gone on retirement, some have resigned for one reason or the other or so. But why the West are able to create more jobs is the fact that immediately, you open a business like within the SME space, you begin to look for people to come in. And because they have more stricter regulations and, laws that, inure to the benefit of workers, they have a better pay system than we have here. Because I have a lot of people, even in the private sector, who want to move from private sector to government sector because they feel that government sector pays better. And also there's job security. So I still have people who call me, and I want to go to Bank of Ghana. I want to go to Cocoa Board. I want to go to MPA because they have heard that, MPA salary is this and that and that and that. Yeah, so this is the systemic problem with the issue of unemployment. And that's why even with the numbers that we have been able to create, still you still have a junk, unemployed. And I make a passionate, case that would you rather trust someone who has tried or someone who gave up in despair? Because at a point in time, John Dramani Mahama raised up his hands in the air and said he was not a magician to create jobs. Do you get the point? So that is the difference.
Okay. Could you mention?
Well, I'm still looking at the fact that people have said, and not only say, in fact, demonstrations have happened in this country because the belief is that this administration has failed the youth. Even though we've talked about digitalization and all these things that would naturally inure to the youth, people are very discontent.
So the word is not failure. The word is not failure.
So you disagree that the government has failed the youth?
No, the word is not failure.
And what's the word?
Like I have said, creating over 2 million jobs is no joke. So it's not failure. Every government works in continuum. Even today in America, there is still a percentage of unemployment. Today, in America. Would you say that all governments have failed? No. So the issue is not failure. The issue is, how well is the government creating jobs? And like I mentioned to you, the rate at which we are churning out graduates is no joke, because Ghana is a young population. And that's why I gave you the statistics to buttress the point. We are very young. In fact, we have one of the youngest populations in the world. Very strong, you know, population, population base, you know. So you are bound to get more people who are in search of jobs because of the population dynamics. Now, let's take Ghana and say Japan, which has an aging population. Today, such countries are looking for people to come. So Japan is now trying to incentivize people, you know, to even give back more. You know, where initially first they were rather hard on people.
Incentives were given for people to have smaller families.
To have smaller families. Right. So these are the dynamics going on. So it's not just about words and you are a failure, you have failed. No, it is not about whether you have failed or, you know, you have succeeded. There is no government that will ever eradicate unemployment. No government will ever be able to do anywhere in the world.
Okay.
But the effort to address the problem is what shows the commitment.
Okay.
But I don't want us also to just limit the accusations of government failing the youth only to employment, because there are people who are employed but they still say government has failed, because as it stands now, even though they are young people, the economy is so hard for them to even thrive, even though they are employed.
Absolutely. So I hear this, and you know, I find it very amusing, and all the time, oh, and you have failed. I said, well, it is good that we're having this conversation. A failed state, I don't know if, you know, anybody has taken a look at Sri Lanka. So when you take a look at Sri Lanka, and even if I have been to some of the African countries, Mali, Chad, if you look at these countries and you call Ghana a failed state, you know, we have failed, then, you know, it's a bit amusing. But of course, I live here in Ghana, okay? I buy petrol, food, everything. So whatever affects the system affects me, okay? There is appreciable level of, you know, increased cost of living. That one, nobody runs away from it.
Right.
I've admitted. And it has touched everywhere. In the just declared American election, it played a role, okay? And if you have followed the elections that have been held so far, okay, economic issues are key to it. It replicated itself in the UK elections. At a point, UK changed 3 prime ministers in 1 year. So you will say UK has failed. Okay. So that's why I'm telling you that it's not just a matter of throwing jabs and jargons. Yes, governments need to try. I've said it time without number. I don't want to live anywhere else in this world than Ghana.
Oh, really? You
Yes,
don't. So if you get the opportunity to jackpot, you won't jackpot.
No.
Is it not because you are in government?
No.
Because that's what people
My
will
first
say.
American visa was in 2016. 2016. I went and came back. As at now, I have 5 years American visa. I took over 2 years ago. And since then, I've not been to the United States of America. I don't have anything doing there.
Okay.
I don't have anything doing there.
Okay.
So I've not gone there.
I'm sure that if listeners, the ones listening to us today,
Yes.
99% of them will be saying, Salam, why? Because if you have an American
tells
visa, you will leave.
Yeah, it tells you my belief in the ability of this country. I will not give up.
And you're not saying this simply because your party is in power.
No. So that's why I'm telling you that my first visa, in fact, the first time I traveled abroad was in 2009. I just completed university fresh. In fact, now I'm in national service employee. Fresh. We completed, is it May, June? Those days, May, June. You know, yes. And August, I traveled to Europe. You know, the day I was coming back to Ghana, my brother asked me at the airport,
Are
"Do
you
you
sure
really
you
want to go back?"
You just wasted airfare.
And I said yes. Then he asked me, "What do you want to go and do in Ghana?" I said, "Oh, me, I started politics in school. I did student politics.
Yeah.
It's something I have passion for, and I want to go and continue. And perhaps I have other plans. You know, I was already doing some car business, and so I want to go back. I want to go back to Ghana. I'll go."
Okay. Salam, I just want to find out from you.
I'm coming.
briefly.
Just to finish the point. I did not stay. At that point, no single commitment. I had no commitment. So I could have stayed. I did not. The same thing that I'm telling you today, that for 2 years now, I have not been to America, not anywhere close, you know, to the Pacific. Because I don't have anything doing there.
You haven't been to Miami to take a break?
No. The last time I was in Florida was in 2019. I went for a program, and that was it.
And since
And I
then-
was there for 4 days, and I came back.
Okay. I just want to find out from you. So when it comes to employment in this country, how would you rate your government's performance on a scale of 1 to 10?
7/10.
You're giving yourself a 7 out
Yes.
of 10.
Yes. It's the effort I have seen put in. I have done our politics over the last 20 or so years, even more than 20 years. I've been doing frontline politics since 2004. So I have followed, in fact, I have almost every recollection of the politics of this country since 2004. So anything you want to reference, I can give it to you from 2004 till date. And the kind of work that this party, this government has done, Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, not just because I support the government, but I have been a special assistant to the vice president. I was a special assistant to the vice president before I became national youth organizer, and you know I have been working on my own. The kind of effort that has gone in to ensure that we're able to create space for young people is one of that has been daring. Look, until we came into office, Ghana had just about 14,000 or so police across the country. Today we have about tripled it. Today we are running around 40-something thousand police people. Okay, immigration was just around 4,000 or so people. Today immigration is around, I'm sure, 12,000-15,000. At a go, Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh, as Minister of Education, employed 100,000 teachers and nurses, 100,000 of them at a go, clearing the backlog of 4 years that the NDC had left. Okay, yes, so that's why I find amusing when you say, and you people have failed. You use the F word for government. We can ask for more, but we must also appreciate effort
what has been done.
That has been
And
done.
is that what gives you the confidence that, I mean, when I say you, I mean the party, that Dr. Bawumia can create, 4 million jobs in 8
the
years?
next
Yes,
8
yes,
years.
we can. Look, let me tell you something. Let me give you an interesting statistic.
I will let you do that, but
Yeah.
I need to remind
Let me just,
don't worry. I just need to remind our listeners that we are having a conversation on the campaign tour with the NPP's national youth organizer in the person of Salam Mustapha. He's been talking a lot about what the government has done so far in terms of job creation. So keep listening, send in your contributions as well. Salam, you're saying?
Yeah. When you take Agenda 111, by the time all of them come on stream, we need between 65 to 70,000 nurses.
For
Maybe-
Agenda
yes.
111 alone.
Yes. That's how much, job it is going to create. As we speak, we have done about 20 hospitals just outside, which are outside Agenda 111 already. So it means that we even need more nurses in this country. So a lot of work is being done. A lot. And I sit and I see it. And that's why I'm particularly thrilled by the flag bearers, presidential candidates believe that as much as we are doing well in the government sector, let's empower the private sector as well. Let them also begin to onboard some of these numbers.
Okay.
And that's the only way we can help
Okay.
a lot of the young people.
Okay. Salam, do you think that this Buy Ghana First policy that Bawumia is proposing is something that can really work in Ghana?
Yes.
Why?
Yes. Look, smoke, our Kente stuff, if we choose that we are
But
going
do we have the production capacity?
we do.
Considering the
We
fact
do.
that you promised a lot of Ghanaians one district, one factory that we are not even seeing.
Yes, look, under that flagship project, one district, one factory, I know about 75 new establishments that are working across the country. Look, I've gone to all the way to Bimbila in the northern region.
There's a factory there.
There's a factory there.
For what factory?
A cassava factory there. That's employed people. When you go to...
Is it by the government or is it private public partnership?
Yeah, so they source funding from the 1D1F Secretariat.
Okay.
Yeah, they come for collaboration. Then, when you go around the Adeklo area in the Volta region, there's an ethanol factory that was started under this government. You know, ethanol is the raw product for most of the pharmaceuticals. Hitherto it was not there. But today, we produce ethanol in Ghana. So, you know, all of it will not come at a go, bam. But block by block, brick by brick, we are laying it well to ensure that within a certain space of time, we're able to get our acts together.
Okay.
Look, the amount of damage that, say, the 20-year PNDC era caused, the number of industries that collapsed, it's going to take a lot of effort to bring them back into life. Because now Ghana has become a commerce economy. We prefer to just go to China and buy and come and sell. It's much easier to do than to produce.
Yeah.
Yesterday or so, or day before yesterday, I was having a conversation with people, and I was telling them, when I went to China, I was shocked. Every province in China has what it specializes in producing. So the Shanghai area does movies. Most of the movies, the Chinese movies, are produced in the Shanghai area.
Yeah.
They have a province where they do these tiles. They have, you know, a province where they produce the electronics, you know, the tablets and so on, and the phones and so on and so forth, garment, what have you, chairs. When they finish, Guangzhou is the marketing point. So when you go to Guangzhou and you want tiles, and they take you to a tile shop, when you place your order, they now go to the province and go and bring you the exact, you know, quantity you want and ship. You see, these things take some thinking outside the box to put together. And that's why it's about leadership. It's about thinking.
So this current leadership hasn't thought?
No, we are thinking. A lot of thinking has gone into a lot of the things we have done. And that's what I'm saying. You still need leaders who think outside the box to solve problems. Like Dr. Baumia would, you know, come up with Agenda 111, gold for oil, you know, when we are at the brink. You see, it's through adversity that you find true leaders. Crisis, in terms of the period of crisis, that you find true leaders.
And you think we found true leaders through COVID-19?
I would trust Dr. Mahmoud Baumi any day than John Dramani Mahama. Look, when we went into the Flagstaff House in 2017, we had a lot of stories. The John Dramani Mahama administration was a very lazy administration.
How lazy were they?
Yeah, John, you know, Mahama used to come to the office around 11, 12, and by 4 he has left office. Yes. By 4 he has left office.
That makes him lazy?
Of course. You're not sitting in office, you're not working. The earliest I see, I'm coming, the earliest I get to see Mr. President is around 11, 12. It's not I ask him. When I go and he's sitting in his chair, he breaks a biscuit, I ask him, Mr. P, do you sleep? And he will laugh. Anyone who goes to the presidency will tell you that when you are looking for Akufo, they'll go there around 11 p.m. You find him in the office. Okay. Same as Dr. Mahmoud Baum.
Okay. Salam, I'd like us to end the conversation with your policies for the youth. But briefly, did you really say that we should cut off your head if the NDC wins power? Did you
They
say
will
that?
not win.
Did you say that?
They will not win.
Did you say that?
Well, maybe you can give me a code, then I'll remember where
Yes or no? Did you say that?
So you've not mentioned that anywhere.
Oh, I have had cause to beat my chest and say that we are going to win these elections at all costs.
And if you don't
that,
win,
yes,
we should
they
cut off your
my
head.
Yes.
Do you so stand by it?
Oh, yes.
They are listening.
Yes.
Including the one that you are quoted as saying that you will not sacrifice power on the altar of peace.
Yes.
And what do you mean by that statement?
So if you want to understand it, play the whole speech, then you understand.
Okay.
I said, and it was in response to the NDC. They went to Tamale to do a program, and my colleague, national youth organizer, said they will not be victims of peace.
Okay.
Yes, they will not be victims of peace. So the following week, when we also had the program, I said, back a day.
It was a chance to clap back.
Then I also told them that we will not sacrifice the elections on the same altar of peace. Because if you will not be victims, why should I sacrifice?
Okay.
Simple. And I till date, look, till I go into my grave, I take it. I'll take it to my grave. I stand by it.
You are still standing by the fact that we should cut off your head if the NDC.
They will not win. The Egyptians should
It's like Tutua is interested in cutting off your head.
I'm not. I just thought that.
Do you know a
was
bulletin?
really wild and daring.
Yeah,
Considering the fact that we have seen
very confident.
all of these polls that looks good for the green corner, and you still say that they're going
Musa
to win.
Dankwa's pools.
Not just
That Banku pools.
Afrobarometer has a few.
Afrobarometer sourced from Musa Dankwa. They did the Afrobarometer.
So that's why your communicators are.
No, I think rather EIU.
EIU, because
sourced
Afrobarometer did not
for
project.
Afro. Yes.
They looked at the things that would.
Yet.
Afrobarometer is more about the things that people.
The last
issues.
Afro barometer I saw was about 2 years ago,
Okay.
where they said the NDC was likely to win, but they said that John Mahama was a problem for them. Yes.
I see. Is that why your communicators are calling him Ajana 1, Ajana 2 on social media?
Yes.
Okay. Salam, we are wrapping up. I don't know if Kojo Mensah has more questions for you. But
I mean, I've listened to Salam, and I've heard. I mean, we've had MPP communicators come have a conversation. But finally, why should the youth of Ghana choose Dr. Baumia?
exactly.
Yeah.
What is the plan for them?
Absolutely. Look, we are not voting shuttles. We are not voting machines. No. And the youth of Ghana should not be patronized. No. These are existential issues. And I implore all the youth to show extreme interest in the politics of our nation and this election that we are going to do. Everyone should come out and share their opinion through their terms. Like I have mentioned, who would you rather trust? Someone who has tried, is trying, you are seeing a bit of a result, or someone who did not? Now, I see a lot of reference to Gen Zs because the Gen Zs likely were around 10 years or 9 when John Mahama was president, so they didn't really get to experience how bad John Mahama was, and they are preying on the I don't want to use the word ignorance, the maybe naivety of Gen Zs.
But
look,
not all Gen Zs,
Not all Gen Zs, yes, to some Gen Zs. But look, he portends a danger to the progress of young people. We must look for progressive leaders. We must look for, dedicated leaders. We must look for leaders with passion to serve, not people looking for personal aggrandizement, like John Mahama is looking for. What has he left in the Jubilee House that he's coming to take? What? He failed as president. But someone has not been president before. But his actions, his policies have been far-reaching. Digitalization, look, national identification system. You cannot have a proper functional economy where you cannot identify your people. The basic thing abroad when you go is that they know everybody. And wherever you are, if they want to find you, they will find you.
Because of the data.
Because of data. And that's how to formalize your system. And that's what we have been able to do. And that's why I want them to trust that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia represents their future, represents their interest. And he has said, look, I am, your servant. I will work for you. And I trust him because I have worked with him, and I know that he's a problem solver. He's a deep thinker,
Right.
and that when issues, worry people, they worry him, and he tries to solve them.
Okay.
And that's why I want to appeal to everyone that for the first time, young people should speak in the loudest voice that we can row, that this is the leader we want,
Okay.
and we can hold him to account
Okay.
if we're not getting the right results
Okay.
that we want.
So the elephant is still the winning symbol.
The elephant is the winning symbol.
We-
Now, the
we-
John
we are-
Mahama campaign now, Obunu to make my election.
We are wrapping up, but have you stopped causing trouble? Have you stopped?
I have
Great. That was the NPP's National Youth Organizer, Salam Mustapha, being our guest on the campaign trail. That wraps up campaign trail, and of course, starts today as well.
All right, so Tutu, I don't know about you, but I didn't get enough of this.
There's a part 2 of available. You can even do it tomorrow if he doesn't mind.
Yeah, we'll do the interview thoughts.
That wraps up Start Today here on Star FM. For more news updates, log on to starfm.com.gh. I am Tutu Adamso, and I'm here with...
Joshua Kujo Mensa.
Okay. Thoughts, man.